Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Full-time MMA?
MMA.
Nothing
Yeah.
else?
My life, man, yeah.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
And from the backyard to the bright lights, game-bred Jorge Masvidal has accepted Leon Edwards' call-out after Leon Edwards beat Donald Cerrone in the main event of UFC Singapore. And this is what Jorge Masvidal had to say. He accepted it, but at the same time, he was welcoming a bigger named opponent. He said, "The bigger the name, the better. At this stage in my career, I only want top 10 guys or the closest thing to get me to the title. I don't think Leon Edwards is quite there, but it's a fight and it's competition. The guy's obviously skilled and on a big win streak, so it would be an awesome to get the fight. I don't see Neil Magny number 7 or whatever the bleep ranking he has behind him. I don't see him stepping in anytime soon, so I'm not going to keep waiting for fantasy matchups that are never going to happen. So if it's Leon Edwards, it's Leon Edwards." With that being said, this is great to hear as a Jorge Masvidal fan, man. I got to admit I was starting to be a little bit worried about my boy Jorge Masvidal, you know, but now I think I see what was going on. He's trying to find the best fights that make sense for his career, as so many others have done. When fighters like Jorge Masvidal, Nate Diaz, and others get into the fight game, they're getting in for a paycheck. Now, Jorge Masvidal, even though, you know, he's getting in for a paycheck, he's still doing what he loves. Jorge Masvidal was fighting before it was professional fighting. He was fighting in the backyards. That's where #backyard the bright lights come from. Jorge Masvidal was fighting all the way back when I was in high school in Kimbo. Backyard street fights against fighters a lot bigger than him, and since then he's transitioned to a professional mixed martial artist, fighting all around the world, training with the best team now, before the UFC, fighting around the world, still fighting the best guys. And so when you're fighting like that and you're fighting to pay your bills, and you know, you're just taking on whatever challenge is thrown at you, you might, and you don't have that push behind you, you might take some ill-advised fights. You might just say, okay, this probably isn't the best fight for me to take, but guess what? I'm fighting anyone, anywhere, any place. And so that's the approach a lot of these guys take a lot of the times, because they have to, you know. Hey, I need a fucking paycheck. You're offering me this guy, let's go over there and fight. But with that being said, that's why Jorge Masvidal is one of my favorite fighters. So as of recently, whenever you had guys calling him out, and Jorge Masvidal not really being able to accept the fights, and I'm talking about Darren Till and Kamaru Usman. There was a time about a month or two ago when both Darren Till and Kamaru Usman needed an opponent, and Jorge Masvidal didn't have one yet. So they both kind of like, "Hey, Masvidal, I'm down to fight Masvidal," and he just said the timing wasn't working. And I was like, oh snaps, like, it is my guy, and I didn't want to believe it. But just looking at what was presented, him saying I'm not ready for these fights, I was like, oh snaps, what's going on here? And then to top it off, Jorge Masvidal actually offered to fight at UFC Liverpool after, you know, against Neil Magny, after saying he wouldn't be ready for that date for Darren Till. So as a fan, I was like, yo, oh snaps, does Jorge Masvidal just not want the Darren Till or Kamaru Usman fight right now? Is that what's going on here? And I ain't knocking him, because there's so many people that do that. You know what I'm saying? The fight doesn't make sense. Too high risk, low reward. I'm looking for a different opportunity. But with that being said, it looks like what actually was going on is Jorge Masvidal was trying to take the best fight for his career. Now think about it from Jorge Masvidal's perspective. He's coming into this fight on a 2-fight losing streak. Yes, to 2 of the best fighters in the world, Damian Maia and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. So if he fights a guy, up-and-comer like Kamaru Usman or Darren Till, then that's not going to do a lot for his career. If he wins, yeah, he gets back on the winning track. But if he loses a lot of momentum that he worked so long to get. Jorge Masvidal, his whole career, he worked to be fighting in the UFC against the Damian Maias, against the Stephen Wonderboy Thompsons, against the Donald Cerrones. He's wanted these big name fights, the bright lights, the big names. So now for him to have getting these opportunities and to be set back a little bit with these losses, if he lost to a guy that was a Kamaru Usman or something, then he might be resetting. So he's probably at this time in his career, now that he's made it this far, looking, all right, I'm going to take a fight that, even if it's a fight that's going to be a close fight, even if it's a bad matchup for me, I want it to be a big name, a higher ranked name, because I've earned that. I deserve that. So with that being said, I kind of see where he's coming from, you know, and I'm a little biased. So I'm trying to see where he's coming from. And now it's looking great because it looks like Jorge Masvidal is back into motherfucking game bread mode, back into anyone, anywhere, anytime, any place. I can't wait for these fantasy matchups. I realize where I'm at in my career and I've worked so hard to get here. But hey man, it's about time to kick some ass because that's what I love to do. So with that being said, I cannot wait if this fight materializes. I still think Jorge Masvidal's team is going to look for a better matchup. They're going to look for a higher ranked opponent if they can, but if not, we might be seeing Leon Edwards versus Jorge Masvidal, and that's going to be an amazing fight, an amazing welterweight fight if it does take place. So with that being said, man, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments, and make sure you check out Patreon for more videos if you enjoyed this one or other videos on the channel, because I post more there every day, including today. And before we go, shout out to all the full-time MMA white belts that have hit the subscribe button. Make sure you also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. And if you want to become a full-time MMA blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, or black belt, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/fulltimemma. I'm out.
Bye, Felicia.